Hello, everybody. My name is Noemi de la Garza.
And my name is Elyana Gutierrez.
Today, we are going to be reviewing TEAC B10B, which is Interactions Regarding Plant Systems.
We'll first start off with a quick warm-up, then we'll go through the lesson, and finally we'll have a quiz to review your learning. So make sure to pay attention throughout the lesson. Now for the warm-up. To attempt this warm-up question, pause the video to give yourself some time. As for us, we will be moving on to the warm-up answer. Now that you've completed the warm-up, let's move on to the lesson. Now the main topic we must learn about is the interactions within plant systems. But before we do so, we must review the plant systems themselves to gain a better understanding overall.
The two main systems within a plant are the shoot and root systems. In plants, the shoot system refers to the above-ground parts of a plant, including stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits. It is responsible for functions like photosynthesis, reproduction, and transport of water and nutrients. The root system in plants is the below-ground part that anchors the plant, absorbs water and nutrients from the soil, and stores food. It consists of the primary root and its branches, which help support the plant and facilitates its growth and development. We will now summarize how these two systems interact. The root system anchors the plant into the soil and absorbs nutrients and water for the plant. The leaves of the shoot system photosynthesize, and the flowers allow the plant to produce new plants. Now that you've gained a general understanding of the shoot and root system, we will be discussing the interactions within these systems by reviewing the transport system, reproductive system, and response system in plants.
First, we will be reviewing the transport system. The transport system in plants consists of xylem and phloem tissues. The xylem tissue is responsible for the transport of minerals and water from the roots to the leaves. The phloem tissue transports glucose, made in the leaves through photosynthesis, up and down to all the other parts of the plant. Take a look at the diagram and examine the different paths of the green circle and the yellow circle. Can you guess which one represents the path taken by the xylem and which one represents the path taken by the phloem? If you guess that the green circle represents the path taken by the xylem and the yellow circle represents the path taken by the phloem, you'd be correct.
Now let's move on to the next system, the reproductive system. The reproductive system in plants involves the formation of new plants through asexual reproduction and the production of seeds through sexual reproduction. Let's start off with asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, part of the parent plant is used to generate a new plant. Since it only involves one parent, the new plant will be genetically identical to the parent plant. New plants can originate from a single cell, tissue, an organ, or a part of a mother plant. Let's take a look at the following example. Here, we see the parent plant lose one of its leaves or organs as it falls onto the soil. After some time, the leaf will grow and become a seedling and eventually form into a clear replica of its parent plant. This is a prime example of a plant reproducing asexually. Now let's move on to sexual reproduction in plants. Some sexual reproduction is the reproduction of plants by the formation of seeds. In sexual reproduction, the anther on the stamen produces pollen, which can be referred to as a male gamete or sperm. The pollen is then transferred by wind, water, or insects and lands on the stigma, which is the top of the pistil, which is also considered female. The pollen then travels down the style into the ovary where it fertilizes the ovule, which can be seen as the female gamete, forming a seed that houses a plant embryo. The seed then germinates and begins to develop into a new plant. The two different ways sexual reproduction occurs in plants is through self-pollination or cross-pollination. Self-pollination is when pollen from a plant pollinates the same plants, and cross-pollination is when pollen from one plant pollinates a different plant. Now that we've reviewed the reproductive system of plants, we'll move on to the next system.
The final system we have to review is the response system. We'll start by explaining what the response system is and how it works. Plants exhibit tropisms, which are directional growth responses to stimuli, such as phototropism, the response to light, gravitropism, the response to gravity, and thigmotropism, the response to touch. Now we'll do a deep dive into each tropism, starting with gravitropism. Gravitropism, also known as geotropism, is when the roots of a plant grow towards gravity and the shoots go away from gravity. The term positive gravitropism describes when the roots grow downwards in the direction of gravity, while the term negative gravitropism describes when the shoots grow upwards away from gravity. Moving on to phototropism, this is when the stem of the plant grows in a direction that is towards light. This is caused by a plant hormone called auxin that is responsible for the growth and development of the plant. The auxin causes the shoot cells on the shady side of the stem to elongate. Thus, the stem bends towards the light. Finally, we'll talk about thigmotropism, which is the plant's response to touch. This response occurs so that the plant can obtain growth support or protection. It's because of thigmotropism that we see vines growing on buildings and climbing up trees. This response occurs because when a plant comes in contact with something, the cells that are touched produce the plant hormone auxin. The auxin is then transported to the untouched cells, which then grow faster than the cells that were touched. This causes a tendril or vine to curve toward the site of contact.
And that's everything you need to know about the main plant systems and their interactions that occur within them. Now that the lesson is finished, we'll do a quick review quiz. You can take your time and pause the video to answer the questions. As for us, we'll move on to the answers. Now I ask that you scan this QR code and let us know what you learned throughout this lesson. Thank you. This concludes our video. Thank you for watching, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to get updates every time we post a new video. Thank you.
Thank you.